Hey guys, welcome to Starting Out Solitary. I'm your Thursday host, Michelle, and this week we're talking about being pagan as a kid or a teen or having parents that don't approve. And when I was a kid, I grew up in a relatively atheist household, so I would imagine, I would imagine if I came out as pagan or told my parents I was pagan, it probably wouldn't have been a big deal. But I do remember being, ridiculed and made fun of because when I told people I was atheist, or I told people, they'd say, "Do you believe in God, or are you Christian?" And I would just say no, because that's, all I knew. I'd get made fun of and called a devil worshiper and all that stuff. So, and that kind of reflects back to last week's topic on, Satanism being confused with paganism. But, the way I look at it is, if you're a teen or a kid and you believe paganism resonates with you, you really have to just look at your family dynamics and look at, how your family reacts to other things, or if they're deeply religious, or if they are, pretty flexible or pretty open-minded. Then you could go from there as to how you would approach them and how you would let them know. Because I don't really have much experience when it comes to being in a household with parents who are, actively religious or strictly religious and very strict about it, or incorporating it into our daily lives. And I have relatives like that, but I didn't have a daily life like that growing up, so I'm not really familiar with, how to deal with those types of issues, and dealing with being different, and dealing with, not fitting in and having to let them know, hey, I believe something else. So you really got to step back and look at your family dynamic and say, do a little evaluation in your head and say, how do I think they would react if I told them this? And, do they even understand what paganism really is? Do they think it's evil? Are they going to immediately think I'm, into, Satanism or something? Maybe, approach it as educating them on the topic first, and, bringing it up, and, just maybe saying you're reading about it or learning about it just because you're curious, and let them know, hey, do you know what a pentacle really means? Do you know the meaning behind it? Do you know what it represents? And, of course, when they tell you, yes, it's a sign of the devil, then that opens up a, dialogue to explain to them what it really is. And, if that's something your family would be open to discussing, you could maybe go that route and, educating them on it first, and then coming, back around and saying, okay, well, this is something I believe in, or these are my beliefs, and, it might work that way for you. It all depends on your family. Some people know right off the bat that, nope, this is not going to work. I cannot tell my parents. I cannot, if I told my parents I wasn't Christian or Jewish or Buddhist or whatever religion you were brought up as, if I told them I wasn't this, but that I was pagan and I believed X, Y, and Z, they'd freak out. Like, if you already know that, my advice would probably be to just sit back and, kind of keep your practice and your beliefs to yourself until you're either older or you reach a point in your relationship with your family where you think they're open enough to learning about it. Because being a teenager is hard enough, and then having to add in the stress of something like telling your parents you're pagan and knowing they're not going to be happy about it, or knowing they're going to tell you no, or tell you, you can't do that, or try and send you to church more, or trying to push you on, more things that you don't want on you. I would personally, this is just my opinion, I would personally just avoid that and keep my practice to myself and keep it quiet until, and just continue reading and learning and soaking up knowledge until I was old enough to do, my own thing, until I was 18, and, it really isn't their option, to tell you, yes, you can or cannot do that anymore. Once you're an adult, you could do what you want. But even some people, even as, young adults, 18, 19, 20, still feel apprehensive about approaching their parents and letting their parents know they believe something different than what they were brought up as or what they were taught. And to that, I would say, it's your life. It's not their life. And if once you're an adult, if you're still scared to tell your parents or, apprehensive about bringing it up, you just remember it's your life. It's not their life. They might be disappointed in a lot of things you do, but it's ultimately your life, your beliefs. You're the one who has to live it. And, even as an adult, your parents don't always, it's not always necessary to let them know every single thing about you because they're your parents. I mean, but, that, like I said, that's all depends on the kind of family you have, what kind of relationship you have with your family. Are they super religious? Are they chill? Are they relaxed? It all depends. When it comes to parents who don't approve, who already have been told, hey, I'm pagan, or, I'm practicing this or that or whatever. When it comes to parents who don't approve, I would try and just keep it on the DL as much as possible, out of respect, especially if you live with your parents. If they are dead set against it and don't want to see anything or hear anything about it, I would be respectful and, keep your tools and items for your practice out of view, and, not practice in front of them, obviously, and not bring it up unless you have to. And, if you live at home, you should probably be respectful about, what their preferences are and, what they want in their house. But, I would just try and keep it as chill and quiet as possible until you're able to either move out or, you're an adult and you can do your own thing. But that's just my my opinion and 2 cents on that topic. Like I said, I don't have much experience with having super religious or super strict parents when it comes to religion and spirituality, so those are just my best guesses on how I would handle those situations. Anyways, I hope you guys are having a great week, and I'll talk to y'all later.